Okay, so you're going to need to take some notes on today's lesson. It's going to be on multiplying binomials. We know this is a binomial because it has two terms in this parentheses and two terms in this parentheses. That makes it binomial. There's no sign here, so that means we need to multiply them. And there's several different methods we can use for multiplying binomials. The first one that is called FOIL. It's called FOIL for front, F, O outside, I inside, and L for last. So that stands FOIL. And it's telling you the order in which you should be multiplying your binomials. So when it's talking about the front, it's talking the front of both these binomials. So that is your front. So you just multiply those. X times X gives you X squared. Then it says O is for outside, so these are the outside terms. So we have X times -5, so that would be -5X. And then we have I for inside. These are the insides. So that's 2 times X, that's +2, so it's plus 2X. And then L for last. And so these two are called the last. So that's 2 times -5, which would be -10. And then we should find that we have two like terms now. We have a -5X and a -2X. So together it gives me -3X. So when we write the whole thing, we're going to write X squared. You always write the largest exponent first. -5X plus -2X is -3X. And then we have the constant -10. So when you multiply these two binomials, you get X squared minus 3X minus 10. So the FOIL is one method. I like what's called the box method. So you just draw a box here, and you take your first binomial, X, here, and then it's +2, so I just put a 2 here. And then I put the second binomial down the side. It really doesn't matter which order you do it. Here we have X, and then don't forget this is -5, so we should put -5 here. But like I said, you could put X and 2 here and X and -5 here. The order doesn't matter. But again, we're multiplying, so what we do is when we are in this box, we multiply the two terms on the sides of this box. So we have X times X, and that's X squared. Then we get to this box, we have 2 and X. We multiply 2 and X, so that gives you 2X. When we get to this square, I look above, I see X and I see -5. So X times -5 is -5X. You put the constant first. And then in this box, I have 2 and -5. So -5 times 2 is -10. So then when I look at this box, these terms are going to be my like terms right here. These diagonals, they both have X. So I'm going to take my first term here and write it down. That gives me X squared. Then my like terms, -5X and 2X, that's -3X. And then my last term here is -10. So we just write in the -10. And you'll see that my two answers are the same. So you have the FOIL method or the box method. Now some people find this FOIL method confusing. One of the things that some of my kids and I did last year was we just distributed. I found that a little bit easier than the FOIL method, but I wanted to show you all methods. So if we're just going to distribute, I want to distribute the 2X here and the 2X here. Okay, so we have 2X times X, that would give you 2X squared. And then I have 2X times -7, that would be -14X. Then you would just distribute the 4 to each one. So we'll distribute the 4 here and here. So 4 times X, that would give you 4X. And then 4 times -7, that would give you -28. And it's the same thing as the FOIL method, the front, the outside, the inside, and the last. But my students last year found it just like, if we just called it distributing, distribute the 2 to each one and the 4 to each one, we found that a little less confusing. And then again, in the center are my like terms again. So I have my 2X squared. and then negative 14x plus 4x, that would give you negative 10x. And then we have the constant minus 28, okay? So when you multiply the binomial 2x plus 4 times the binomial x minus 7, you get the answer of negative 2x squared minus 10x minus 28. And again, we can always use the box method, which I said is my favorite. But for the box method, I have 2x and 4. That's the 2x plus 4. You can put plus in here if you want to. You don't need to, but you can. And then you have x minus 7. So we'll put the x here. And then you do have to put the minus there because that makes it negative. So again, in this box, I do 2x times x. That's 2x squared. And then this one I do 4 times x. So it gives me 4x. And then this one right here, I have 2x and negative 7. So that's negative 14x. And here I have 4 and negative 7. Multiply those for negative 28. And then just like before, my like terms are right here. So I'm going to write my 2x squared, negative 14x and 4x, again that's negative 10x, and then I bring down my minus 28, my constant doesn't have anything to combine with it, so we get there. So if you look, my answers are the same, but you can do the box method, or you could do a distributive method, or you can use the FOIL method. So now I would like you to come down to this one right here, choose which method you like the best, and work it out and have your answer. And don't forget we're multiplying. And the zombie is here. You don't want to look like his brain there. So make sure that you are doing your work.